Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how we can create a database using Amazon's RDS, or RDS stands for Relational Database Service. So I'm here now at the AWS console. So in the search bar I will just type RDS, and then I will go to manage relational database service and order Amazon's RDS. So this will lead me to this page. So if you are opening RDS for the first time, you may encounter this page, and then you go to the create database from here, or in case you are directed to this page, you just click on the databases. So either way you can just create a database. So uh, After that, you need to click on create database. um, Once you click on the create database, you will be asked to choose whether you want to use the standard create or easy create. Easy create is lot of the things, or they will our AWS will pre-select a lot of the configuration that are best practices, uh, and then you can just use it, and it's very it's only involved couple of steps. um, in standard create, it will have a little longer, it will have more steps to create, but you have more a freedom to configure your system depending on your need. So for this demo I'll be going with the standard create. uh, so the first thing I need to do is select the engine. um, I will go with MySQL. MySQL is a very popular relational database engine. So I'll select this one, but depending on your need, you can select all the other ones as well. um, so I'll scroll down. I will not change anything in this engine part. I'll keep them all as the default options. um, then I will come to the template part. The templates, they have these three options, the production, dev test, and free tier. um, I will go with the free tier, but I just wanted to show you how much a production the the production will cost you a lot of money. So according to them, the estimated cost for the production version is almost around 1600 USD per month. So I will go with the free tier, but that's the estimate. You can always configure your system and it will go down, but for this demo I will be playing safe and will go with the free tiered version. So I'll click on the free tier. So in free tier, there are definitely some of the options becomes gray. So you cannot select you cannot have all these other options, you cannot have a multi AZ deployment and so on and so forth. So there are certain limitations, but for this purpose it should work. Then in the settings, after selecting this template, then is the settings part. um, I'll just give the so db instance identifier, just identifier for your instance. So I'll just give it as a database test. Then after that I need to give the credentials for my database. I will keep the username as admin. You can change it, but and then for my password, I will go with the self-managed part, the default option. And instead of creating my own password, I will just use the auto-generated password, so that it's a little stronger. After that, for the instance configuration, I will not make any changes. I will keep the instance the default one. So this is the how many CPUs, how many gigs of RAM, and all those stuff. They have all the other options as well, but for the free tier I guess only couple of them are only available. But if you go for the production, you can definitely select the one that meets your requirement. um, for additional configuration, storage configuration, I will not do anything. For connectivity, I'm just using this database as a standalone database, so it's not going to connect to any EC2 services. So EC2 is like EC2 instance, so I'll go with the default option again. The VPC will be my default VPC. The subnet also I will keep it as like the default subnet. um, then comes the public access. By default it is no, but since I am trying to connect this database from an external system, in this case I'll be trying to connect this database using Datagrip. So, and as Datagrip is from in my desktop, so that's not in AWS or in the same so it's not in some virtual private network with which has like a tunneling with the VPC, right? So I will be using public access, yes. And then since I'm using the public access as yes, I will create my own security group. I can configure an existing security group, but I will not do that. I will just create a new one so that it is easier to manage. I'll just give a name to that. VPC, not this one. I will just name it as like demo RDS security group kind of stuff. I'll just make it small. Demo RDS SG1. For the availability zone, I will not select any preference. It can select from all the three one, like whatever it needs. I'll keep everything as like the default options. Yeah, and then I will create the database. Coming back to the security again, so all this connectivity stuff, so there are like a lot of complexities around this stuff, like what is a so if you are not like aware of all this stuff, you may want to like read around like what is a virtual private cloud and how does it work in case, like in terms of like AWS, what is the security group and so on and so forth. So security, I mean like the security group determines like what it's like a firewall. So it has like the inbound and outbound rule, and you can configure like who can access this particular service and so on and so forth. So when I create a public database and when I'm creating a new security group, by default what will happen is like the AWS will create an inbound rule that will allow my computer or the IP address from my computer to access this database. So you can always edit that inbound rule, like you can add more rules and remove rules kind of stuff. But like in this case, like when you select on public access and create a new security group, it automatically does that. But if it is not doing that automatically, you can always manage that as well. So after that I will click on create database. So this creating the database, it normally takes some time. So I don't need any of these, so I'll just close it. But yeah, the creating the database normally takes some time. So once it is created, I will have like the URL for it, like, and I can see the credentials, but it will not have the URL for it as of now. So once it's completed, I will be able to see that as well. So my database instance is ready. So I'll click on this database identifier to see all the properties. So here you can see the summary of the database instance that we created. So you have the endpoint for the server, the port, and so on and so forth kind of stuff. In case you want to modify something, like you can click on modify and modify it. Like it will, when you click on modify, you can make some certain changes. In case you want to do that. Yeah, so for this purpose we'll not make any changes. We'll try to connect to this database instance using our Datagrip workbench. Let me open the Datagrip. So this is the Datagrip workbench. You can use any other workbench as well. I will click on this plus sign that's in the top left hand corner, and then I will create the connection first. So I'll go to data source, and then you can select depending on the database server that you created, right? You can select any of them. Like ours was the SQL server, like MySQL. So I will click on MySQL and then start creating the connection. I'll name it as like a test. You can name anything here, test RDS. For the host, it will not be localhost, it will be this one, the endpoint that is there. I will click on the endpoint and copy it, and then this one. The port is same, the 3306, so that's the same port, so we don't have to change it. After that, the username, that's admin, and the password that we saw, I just copied it, so I will just copy back or paste it back here. Now it's created. As of now we don't have any database. We have this database server, but we don't have any database as of now, so I'll just click on test connection. Yep, it succeeded. I'll just click OK. The connection has been created now, so yeah, we are able to connect. So as of now there is nothing, there is no schema here, so we'll first create one. So I will create, let's call it like a RDS test, and yep, it has created. So now we can see like the in ours, yeah, we can see this here, the schema here. Or now we can add tables in this particular schema or the database. Let me create a table. So these are the part, like let me create this. I just created certain some scripts, so this will create a table in this particular database. So one thing is like since we have to use this command, like use RDS test, because this query console was for this test connection, that connection that we created, this was not the query console for this RDS test. If you want to use, I mean, we use it like the use RDS test, or we can create a query console for this particular schema or the database that we created. So where we can just right click on it, new, and query console. You can do it like that, or you can just use this command called RDS test, and you can do that. Let's create this table. This is just a simple we have to do this RDS test, and then so it has created this table. So let's go back to this particular console one, which is like the console for this database. So we can then select star from products. Yeah, so there's no record as of now, like we can insert some record here as well. So let's, yeah, so I created these scripts for creating a table and inserting some records beforehand. Yeah, it should have run. Let's see, it should create it. Yep, so we created a table, we inserted some records there. So this is how you can connect to a database locally using Datagrip. But yeah, so one thing about like using AWS is like any services that you use in AWS will cost you money, so be very careful like when you are using it. So make sure like if you're not using any of the service, to delete them and just check like whatever like the things that are being created by the service. So now like so now for this demo I will just delete this. Since I don't need this database, I will just delete it. So I'll just select this database, I'll go back to my console and then click on database and then click on the identifier, and then in action I will just delete it because I don't need it. So just you have to type in the delete me, and then I will delete it. So it's deleting. So now if I just refresh it, right, like in my Datagrip, it will fail the connection. So as of now it's still deleting, but if I try to, yeah, it's already saying like you cannot read the response of the server, so it's kind of deleted. So I can just close the connection as well. I just can click on deactivate and then remove the data source. So yeah, so this is deleting. Then it creates one thing called snapshots. You can also delete that one as well. So but it will take like it first the database need to be deleted, and then like you can delete the snapshot. So as of now it's all grayed out, but once the database is deleted, and yeah, the delete snapshot option will also be enabled. So yeah, so that's it, how you can create a RDS instance, or you can create a server, and then in the server like you can create a database using something local or like something from your desktop using Datagrip. You can try it out and see. You can play around, but be careful with the cost and everything of using AWS. Apart from that, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you like it, please like and subscribe, and have a good day. Thanks for watching.